Alright, well you can see the dented in fuel line right there. We're going to go ahead and remove a bolt here, a bolt here. I'm going to pull the line off. Now on the inside, you can probably see there, the line's bent into here. And then there's rubber hose on the end of that. So I'm going to either just cut this off and run rubber hose, or I'll put a rubber hose patch in here for now. It's all going to be mostly temporary till I can get the fuel issue all straightened out. So that's what we're going to be doing. Alright, so gas is definitely on leak. So I have a little container here with some cat litter type stuff in it that's going to absorb that. It's actually Johnny Dry or something like that, brand name. And they are 3/8. Now this holds both this line. These brackets hold both the brake and fuel lines. And they've been on here a while, so hopefully they'll come off and stay intact, but I think they will. Now these brackets are specially designed, I'll show them to you when I get them off, to hold both of these. Alright, so you can see the lower bump for the fuel line and the smaller bump for the brake line. All right, so oops, pull that one off. So we got the line pretty loose. Now, interesting enough, I had a hard time finding tube cutters that would cut through this. Most of them said, oh, it's only for, even the automotive store, oh, it's only for copper. I'm like, how much copper is in a car? Why would you sell them there if they only cut copper? So these are, of course, our stainless steel. And I'm going to give a chance, let me give that a good, I'm going to attempt to cut one of these. Now, the issue I have here is I've got this in the way to actually get to the line. So what I'm probably going to do is I'm going to disconnect the hose that's up in here that you saw earlier, and then I'm going to pull it all the way out and then bend it a little bit so I can get some space here to cut the hose. And maybe I just do one cut here and run it all the way. I don't know. We'll see when we get there. So, all right, more coming up. That's disconnected. Here. And now I have some room to work on it. Let me see if I can get that cut. Not making any more bad twists. Should be able to get that. So the key would be to cut it without crushing it. We got a little bit of fuel leaking right there, so clearly these are going to work. And we got a pretty clean cut. Edit that part out. Nice clean cut. And then we're going to put the rubber hose on. So I decided I'm going to preserve as much of the gas line as I can. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut off the bent out part. And patch it in with some rubber hose. That way it gives me a little bit of flexibility to move it back and forth and still get to use the same clip and have it hold the metal rather than worry about it crushing the rubber fuel line hose. And it'll keep it up away from the suspension. Now hopefully with the work I did on the suspension and the shock, we won't have it banging up there and getting bent again. So we'll see how that goes. There we go. Another clean cut. These were good. All right. Now you got to cut some hose and we should be ready to go. All right, so we got some fuel line. Make sure you get fuel line. This is for multi-fuel, bi-fuel. You can actually see it's listed on here. You want to be as safe as you can when you're not using steel. This is 3/8 inch. I don't know if I can get that on there. 3/8 inch. And so we're just going to slap it on here and throw a clamp on there and we're good. Make sure you got enough fuel line covered and that you got your clamp down far on the fuel line and the rubber hose, otherwise you could pinch it off. And I'll tighten up later with the driver. You know, the new, you get a bag of new hose clamps, and they're not well made these days. So they have the slit for either Phillips or straight. But when I get done here, I'm gonna go grab a driver. Actually, I'll just do it with a ratchet here instead of going to get a driver and do that extra bit of tightening. Just to get it clamped down there real good. Yeah, a couple more turns, that makes it a little more secure. And then I just got to cut it and then decide how much I want to put on here. So I cut the other end off. What did I do with that? Came out really smooth. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull this back a little bit so that I can still get the clamp onto here, and then I will run this, and that's probably not going to work. Yeah. Well, I may just have to go with it clamped to the other clamp that was here. That might be the only way to make that as smooth as possible. But at least with the rubber hose and it gets hit with the suspension. I don't know how that happened. This is just a sloppy suspension, so I suppose that's possible. That way it'll just collapse and spring back out. That might be the smartest thing. And I'll figure out how to get that clamp around it, because I do want to keep the brake line in place. And a good pair of paramedic shears will cut through just about anything. Oh, and another little tip when you're doing these, try to get that facing out, because I've been working on some of my cars where either I or somebody else had put it on in a different direction, then twisted it or whatever, and it's just a bear to try to get those back off. So I always try to make sure I've got it pointed out. Pointed out so I can easy access to how you would normally pull them off. Imagine one of these days I will actually go ahead and bite the bullet and redo the entire gas line. The last time it was, I had some guys do some work on it for me. They pulled the tank, drained the tank, cleaned it out, gas tank. But I'm noticing my gas gauge isn't working. So I'm gonna have to troubleshoot that, but that'll be a different video. Right now I just wanted to run. And stay running. There's a few car shows coming up that I'd love to take it to, even though it's ugly as sin, but I got a lot of work to do on this, so, and I've got a lot of parts, and it won't be painted for a while. So there's that. All right, so that's back on there. I'm gonna go connect it back up. See what I can do with that clamp. I gotta get it wide enough. I'm gonna clean this up for a bit. Better. I'm gonna run it just like that. A little more of a downturn. So she's right where I need her now. And we'll give you that. We don't like the way these are sized. Yeah, should be fine. Washer on there at some point. We just want to see if we can get her back to running. This back on there solid. All right. She's all connected back up. And down. All set running through there and back across. And we're good. So I have, this will be all I'll be able to get done today. I have another couple meetings as we finish up this year of school. I'm gonna put her down, try to get her started, and I'll bring you back if she's running.
All right, well, you saw she started for a minute, but still got issues, so fuel pump's next. And that way I've done everything I can on that except for messing with the carb and something else. So, all right, thanks for watching.